We're back with our 400 Whelen project. To be blunt, this rifle has been an absolute pain in the butt to get to feed properly. When I picked it up from the gunsmith, he had got the 360 North Fork to feed okay. With 3 down, with 4 down, we had some problems with jamming. And 3 down from a functional perspective is just fine. It's no different than any of my other Magnums from an in the field type perspective, but from a build matching the design perspective, that just wasn't going to work for me. So I spent hours and hours and hours on this thing trying to get it to feed properly. As anybody's worked on something like this, it knows a lot of this is just trial and error. So after lots of that, I was finally able to come up with what I think is the solution. In this particular case, what my initial issue was with this action, when I'd have 4 in the magazine, there was enough room in that magazine box that they could kind of bind back by the case head. And so when you take a shell out, instead of loosely coming all the way to the top, they were kind of bound in there, and I wouldn't quite get the shell all the way to the top. So when we went to close the bolt, it was just barely touching that case, and it would push it just far enough forward. When the angle, or when the shell would start to angle up, that bolt would overrun the case, and I'd end up with a jamming issue. Originally I thought, well, I need more room in the magazine box, and that actually didn't help the problem. In fact, it made the problem worse. So the solution was actually to make less room in the magazine box. As you can see here, I squoze that magazine box together, which essentially gave me a straight-sided magazine box wall. And by doing that, those cases are forced into position. There's no room for them to move around. They have to go in the correct position back near the case head. Makes some sense when you think about it. You got a straight-walled case, a straight-walled magazine box might just work better. Problem I ran into when I did that, my follower now bound up. There wasn't enough room for the follower to go all the way to the top of the magazine, and I wasn't getting proper feeding with that. So took this down to belt sander, sanded down the edges. This is not the original follower to this gun. The original that comes with it is thicker and heavier. So I actually took this aluminum follower out of a push feed Post 64 Model 70. These are easily replaced. I can get them on Midway for 20 bucks. So rather than mess with the one in the original action, I ground this down. So when I did that, I got that to work properly. And essentially I eliminated all of my problems with jamming and with that bolt overrunning the case. When I did that, I created new problems for myself in that sometimes the shells weren't entering the breech at the correct angle, or they were popping out of the magazine. Then it became a matter of adjusting the feed lips on that magazine box, and simply trial and error. Tweak it a little bit, try it, tweak it a little more, try it, find out if I was going the right direction to fix my problem. Eliminate one problem, create a new problem. So lots of back and forth, lots of frustration. I actually pulled an all-nighter the other night and started about 8:30 at night, and my wife texted me at 3:30 in the morning wondering where I was. And anyway, I was right here messing with this gun. So after probably 15 plus hours of messing with this, maybe more, I finally feel like we're at a point where, even though I'm hesitant to say that it's done, I feel like it is functional. And what I want to do now is I'm going to shoot it consistently throughout this summer and make sure I don't have any problems. If I have a rifle that's dangerous game capable, I want it to be dangerous game reliable. So the only way I can get that level of confidence is by now taking it to the range and shooting round after round after round through it. Full house loads, plinking loads, everything, until I'm 100% comfortable that this rifle is not going to fail me in a situation where I might need it. So the bullets that I wanted to shoot and that I have on hand were, I've got a Montana Bullet Works 400 grain cast bullet. Nice big flat nose on that. A Montana Bullet Works 350. Also a big me plat. 360 North Fork. And a Hornady 210 grain XTP. To be perfectly honest, I didn't think I'd ever have a chance of these bullets feeding properly. That big nose, big me plat on those just did not seem like a round that was going to be conducive to smooth feeding. Extremely short overall length on this little XTP. Just didn't have a lot of faith in it. So after tweaking and lots of trial and error, we're going to go ahead and load these up kind of an offset pattern. I've done this every way that I know how, but we're going to load cast 360 North Fork, 350 Bolt Works, oops, 210 XTP. So I've got all four. Every other round is a different one. Working good. Again, hesitant to say that it's perfect. Certainly hesitant to say that this is done, but I'm getting good enough reliability here in my shop. Now it's time to take it to the range and see what it does after lots and lots of rounds of heavy firing. So making progress, frustrating, same time very satisfying to get to the point where I feel like this rifle is getting more capable of its original design. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.